RPM is a sales and marketing enablement for CRM. Okay, so I'll walk through what that means, and we're going to really try and pinpoint exactly what's going on with your business and how we think we might have developed one of the best full solutions for your business. In a nutshell, we want to know if these problems seem familiar. So in chat, we're watching chat. If you feel like this is kind of speaking to you, the old webinar style, hit a one or say a yes if you feel like you can't ignore past leads anymore. And it's hard for you to always depend on new lead volume. So you're just kind of these problems kind of keep coming up and you don't ever kind of go back to chase the people who might not have been ready to buy that first 3 days or 4 days. And so the idea with RPM is that RPM has shown that has about an 82% increase to client response rate. Um, Another problem that you might have is like lead follow-up is all over the place. Time is a problem, right? So if somebody comes in, they text, they call, they hit you on Facebook, here's an email, it's just like bum, 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 and then it goes flat. And so with RPM, what we're trying to really accomplish is take a lot of that out with automation and analysis and sales technology and everything. So RPM has over 450 today pre-built automations and messages that go out via through the pipeline system that we've built. Another problem we keep seeing is like your sales CRM feels daunting, or maybe you don't even have one. Um, I know for the people that are watching that are like, hey, I've got Orbis X or You're Able or other pieces here, that those are like very deep shop and operational CRMs. They're great at what they do. This is really a sales CRM. Okay. And so this is really meant for sales guys to kind of see where deals are in their pipe, understand where they are with a moment's notice, kind of look at it quickly and understand what kind of comes to them at the top of their mind right out of the gate. Um, and we found for people that have typically had something like this, whether it be HubSpot or Lead Connector or high level, I mean, sometimes there's money boards. We found that a lot of shops were not really trained well or kind of got the half bag on it. So, what we've decided to do with RPM, and we've noticed it's been a tremendous effect, is we are doing one-on-one boarding. Someone from our staff is literally coming out via online, and they're just training you over four specific sessions over typically about 4 to 6 weeks. So that's someone who's assigned to your account, and they're really trying to make sure you understand like this is how you use the system. And we found a tremendous value for that. It's been kind of you guys, people who are our roadmap partners, they probably already know how support is important to me as a person. Um, so the other one is that maybe you had automations or you were given something and the messaging just falls flat or it doesn't have or it doesn't happen automatically at all. And we found that this was a massive killer for sales. People don't really want something that feels robotic. And what we've noticed is we involved sales psychologists and we kind of really looked at multiple things that when we built the messaging, we got almost a 40% increase to closing rates. So if you were closing 3 out of 10, we could probably step you more closer to 5 out of 10. I'm not here to tell you you're going to close 10 out of 10. If I were to get you to close 10 out of 10, I probably wouldn't be doing this today. So here's today. This is how it works for you and your business potentially. Monday, a lead fills out, a form comes in. Maybe you shoot them a text if you remember, or hopefully you give them a call. They didn't answer because they're a psychopath and they filled it out. And then you shoot them a phone call, they don't answer. Next week, we hope that you send them a text, and then they're just, what do they say? Gone. They're gone forever, right? I mean, too bad, so sad, on to the next lead. Hopefully they come back if they were serious. That's kind of the shop owner mentality. I can't really blame anyone. Totally understand. Or worse, your messaging is really weak. So maybe you have a CRM that kind of does a lot of this stuff and it says, are you ready to buy? Or, hey, I've got your inquiry online. Are you available now? And you just get ghosted over and over and over and over. This is weak sales psychology. This is not good engagement. This is not how you build authority. This is not how you build education. This is not how you build engagement. And it actually hurts your brand. If anybody knows anything about Detailer's Roadmap, they know communication is massive for us. And so what we did is we took everything on how Detailer's Roadmap is built and we put it in RPM. The same scenario of how we used our automations, we use it right directly in RPM. So today, the solution that we've come up with for years is that RPM is a licensed client engine system. This is going to automate your follow-up. It's going to automate some messaging. It's going to reactivate your past customers. It's going to keep clients engaged without having to chase them over and over. Not here to tell you that this is going to be the most insane 10 out of 10 closes. Let's be realistic. But I know this thing is going and has shown a high value ROI and a big time saver. Automated client reactivation, what that means is that on post purchase, so if they do a ceramic coating or tint, this system is chasing people even after they purchase. It is coming back with aftercare guides. Every 30 days, it's touching them, 90 days, 6 months, 12 months. But there is a care and a touch to this that means that you do it too much, you become annoying. You do it not enough, you don't show that you care about them as a customer. There's a real sweet spot for that, and we've nailed it. We have a structured follow-up system for inbounds. And what that means is that there's a service-specific level of new lead cadence. What that means is if somebody comes in for paint protection film, they come in for window tint, or they come in for ceramic coating or detailing, guess what? None of that messaging is the same. They have a very specific type of cadence, a very different type of sales process, and a very different type of messaging overall. And it's super important to get that right. We've used proven sales messaging throughout this system. So RPM was developed with shops that are doing 150 grand a month. Bar none, nobody has kind of done this from the ground up and used real deep sales psychology for this. It is fully built CRM system for the sales side. And what that means is we put in top tier onboarding and email spam management, which I will walk through in a second. But I will tell you out of the gate, if you are looking for a software that you could just log in and it just does everything for you, I'm not aware of anything that just does it to that level. This is a deep built-in one-on-one system that we want to make sure that you're comfortable using. Just like you're comfortable with your site and you know we do a great job there, we wanted to bring that same level of service to this. So how it works is that RPM at the core captures people, nurtures people, throws engagement, and then the biggest and core, my most proud piece that I am very big fan of, and anyone who's seen my content knows I'm a huge fan of elevating your brand and reactivating your current clients where they've been with you for only 3 days, 30 days, 6 months, or 6 years. And that is how you re-engage opportunities and make people who have worked with you become brand evangelists for you, for other people. If you wanted to play the feature set, it's got tons of automations. It has a phone IVR system. What that means is you call in, you're not getting any more spam calls, or you're going to see a massive reduction because they hit a phone IVR, a menu. Press 1 for PPF, press 2 to talk to XYZ. The system automatically attaches dollar to dollar values of the jobs that you're talking about. So what I mean by that is if somebody comes in and they hit paint protection film on your forms, it will literally attach a dollar amount of what the value of that opportunity is worth to the business. So we find that out on our onboarding call. This connects to CRMs and the website so that they're all talking. We want to save you time. If you got to duplicate messaging over and over, it'll drive you nuts. On the right-hand side, it's kind of showing you some examples of what kind of those newsletters and some of those automations look like. Give me a 1 if I'm doing okay. Give me a 2 if I'm doing terrible. I'll read back all these messaging. So kind of RPM in a nutshell, we're kind of walk you through a little bit of the inbound and we'll make this super quick for you. So if anyone fell asleep, I apologize, but here comes all the good stuff. If you're not going to do RPM with us, by all means, take what you can from this. This is great sales psychology. You don't have to do RPM, but I'm going to tell you your business is going to be in an amazing spot if you kind of at least take at least portions of this. So a new lead comes in, okay, and we built what's called a 31-day pipe. We found a lot of people were not building pipes deep enough or had enough sales psychology through it. And so day one, let's say they hit ceramic coating. They get an introduction to the ceramic coating. Day two, an invitation to the shop. Day seven, an honest evaluation of ceramic coating if it really fits. Day 14, day 21, day 30, there's kind of some touches here via SMS system. Okay. And so it's going on and selling with you. Okay. At the same time, we're also marrying it and mirroring it with a little bit marrying a mirror. It's a real thing. You marry a mirror, whatever. We're moving on. Day three, day five, real world results. Is a ceramic coating worth it? We all know people don't sometimes know the difference between paint protection film and ceramic coating. We adjust that. We kind of literally look at that type of messaging in the email itself. And then my favorite part, if you can't talk to somebody in this pipeline, if they're not really making decisions, you kick them. You kick them to the evergreen campaign. You don't have to do anything, but we kick them to an evergreen campaign. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second. Each one of these pipes is built out for PPF, ceramic, tint, and detailing. As of today, those are the four core pieces that we've built out. We can talk about what's coming next, but really at the end of the day, this is a major system for four different types of inbound. On the back end, if they decide not to make a kind of a purchase or a decision, which is fine, not everybody's ready to go day one. Maybe they're not ready to go day 30. But I'm going to tell you what, we're going to chase them for you. We're going to send them over a year's worth of newsletters of engaging content, buried in with some SMS automatic touches. And what the goal here is we really want to stay on top and kind of be in people's back of their mind. I kind of have always said this before, and people have heard this before, but I don't remember my plumber's name. I don't remember my electrician's name. I don't remember my roofer's name, but I do remember my water guy for the office building here, for all the sprinklers, because he literally sends me like something once a month, kind of more or less staying in front of him. And I'm a customer, so we have different cadences for everything. But I remember exactly his name because he's staying on top of me, and he only calls me once a year or twice a year. Shut down those sprinklers and turn them back on or blow them with air. But he stays with me throughout the year, and I can tell you his name, but I can't remember the other service providers. This is the difference of proactive communication versus reactive communication. Day one. Okay. This is what's going to separate your business from starting to be reactive on only worrying about inbounds and really beginning to build a snowball effect into your business. Is the exact same system that we have built here at Roadmap. So if you didn't buy a site from us, we chase you all the way down. Here's something that you don't really see too often. It's probably one of the most missed things. It's called a one campaign. So for 3 years, specifically on PPF, ceramic, and tinted detailing, there's called what's a one campaign or a post-purchase campaign. So thank you, day one, day two, or day one, there's an aftercare guide, right? Let's talk about paint protection film, what it does. On day 8, there's a double check. Hey, do you need to come in and come to the shop? Day 30, we marry it with a cross sell. Say, hey, you maybe didn't purchase this, or here's my favorite other pieces to do paint protection film. We found that if you let them do their almost like what you recommended for PPF and they get it, they love it. We found it's actually very easy to do a mini cross sell right there very early in that 30 to 45 day window, especially for PPF. Day 75, day 100. And what we do throughout this whole period post-purchase is we actually do two things. One is we reset expectations, okay? Specifically on ceramic coating, especially is telling somebody who's had a ceramic coating for 6 months, you might need to come in for a decontamination wash. Here's what it is. Here's what it actually means. 'Cause sometimes they just think it's always just going to be water, be glossy, or sometimes they don't even know what that means. So we kind of break it down. Probably my favorite thing, and you guys have seen this for years, see us do it. It's called the VIP status reinforcement. And so, kind of a day 180, what we do is we actually turn your current client, we turn it into what's called a VIP client. Between you, me, and the walls, anyone who spends money with you, they're VIP. But we tell them that through proactive messaging. And then we kind of turn their account so that they always kind of have that thought process and we show kind of tailor messaging after that point. Um, day th one, year one, year two, year three, it's not so much you have to sell. My partners who are on this call, I don't think there's too many times that we've called you and said, hey, you need to buy this other pages. You need to buy these landing pages. You absolutely need to do this. You never really saw proactive call outs from us, but you definitely got served media of what I think you could do, and here's the benefits of it. And then together you chose your own path of what you wanted to do. And we won because we got, more revenue, and you won because you got what you wanted. And that's the exact same system we build here. So in year two, we're not telling them it's your anniversary or PPF. We're kind of more or less asking them, hey, here's kind of expectations of what PPF it looks like by now. Maybe you want to come in for a wash. Hey, did you by chance get a new car? Okay. Stuff like that. Um, from a nutshell, from a 30,000 point of view, that's kind of what it looks like from a visual. And I'll show you deeper in this of kind of pipelines and moving them around. But marketing and communication is all built into this. And what I mean by that is you could still email like you normally do, but you can email through the system, SMS. You have pre-built systems all the way through it. The newsletter has been everything's built for you. And I think this is probably one of the most differentiating things about RPM. I'm not here to offer a piece of software. This is a fully built out software for every messaging for almost every scenario. Not everything, but it's quite a bit. You can call through the system, you can email, you can do the sales pipeline, and the whole goal is to turn your clients into brand evangelists, and people can see that front-loaded, high communication, whether you're actually working on a car or not. And so there is some automatic natures to the system, and I'll walk through that. I think anyone who knows me at Detailer's Roadmap knows the passion that I try and bring to the industry. And not only me, but like my entire team here at Detailer's Roadmap. And what I mean by that is I don't I don't believe in half measures. What I mean by that is we have one motto here. My motto is do it right or don't do it at all. It's just not really acceptable for us to do a one-page website. We just know it's not going to work. We are the slowest to bringing out new services, but we truly believe that you got to build something of quality to show the measurement of performance and stamp our name on it. And I kind of pick on, one of these messages that came from one of the ad groups that they put these automations in for one of our clients, and here's the automation. It says, hey Chris, Black Friday drops in 2 weeks. Uh, Click this link to remind me when it's live. I don't know about you, but I'm never going to open that link. I'm never going to do it. It's the worst messaging ever. In fact, it's annoying. Um, I think that kind of goes to the point of like a lot of people have been sold systems that have very weak and low effort sales psychology. Um, I don't care if it's ChatGPT or somebody actually wrote that. To me, that is not engaging at all. As a consumer, I would be almost like irritated that that got sent out to me. And I saw this over and over and over. And I saw it one more time last year, and I said, I'm just going to do it myself, right? Just like Thanos says. Um, so every single piece has kind of a desired system to it. And what I mean by that is not everything has to have a great image or an automatic plain GIF in the email or a very easy graphic to show why ceramic coating is better than wax. But when it necessitated to do that or write a subject line that we know the open rate is higher, we took the time to do it right. I don't want someone to come back to me and say, this looked lazy. And to me, the left-hand side showed lazy and the right-hand side, there was effort. Don't get me wrong, there is email and there are SMS that we wrote that have no pictures, they have no videos, but they were designed from a sales psychology standpoint to potentially get an answer to a very quick question. Not everything's got to be an education pitch. Who is RPM for? Okay. And we'll kind of get down to the nuts and I'll make this super quick, but um, really at the core of it, RPM is probably really designed for somebody who's doing around 35, 40 grand a month. Could you do this if you had 10 grand or 15 grand a month in your detailing business? You could. I would just tell you if you're doing PPF and you're doing tint or coatings or a combination of most of them, you're going to see the greatest benefit of this. Um, Another one is that we want the phone number to come into the system. And the reason why is that you'll still keep your phone number. You're not going to lose it, but you got to port it into this system. And the reason why, and I'll show you here, is the automations that reply to people fucking kill. They work. They work great. And the problem is if you're sending something through a marketing phone number, they know it's a marketing phone number and they kind of, the unsubscribe rate is pretty drastic, to be honest. But if it comes through the business phone number, there's a whole different level. And a lot of times these companies don't go down this extra route because it's too much friction for the business owner. I totally get it. I'm gonna let you know right now, you're wrong. You wrong. It works great. If you ever wonder about Detailer's Roadmap, our number is built into our automation of RPM as well. That's why. Um, the other part is, and it's probably my favorite part that God forbid, I want a picture of my guys here, but we do what's called a mandatory 45-day email warm up. Listen, we're nerds here. You don't got to be the nerds, but I'm going to let you know right now. A lot of times we found up to 80% of emails coming out of shops, especially ones that were using similar systems, were landing in spam. And the reason they were landing in spam, they didn't do two specific things. They didn't warm up the email because it's a real thing. You have to warm up the email to show Google and Yahoo Postmaster services that these are real emails getting really opened up. So we have to like manually do this. This is not like a one-click solution. And the other thing is they weren't using, a lot of times they're using the native software that comes out of these systems, whereas we're using a system that only does email warming up with it. And so we actually kind of componentize, that's not a word, componentize, but we basically built a component to the system to handle all the email handling so it doesn't get flagged. You guys are screwing this up. If you can't get a hold of the customer and if you can't get their emails into their actual inbox, why are you using the systems that are out there today? You really got to be asking these questions, and answering and seeing if your emails are actually getting open, if they're actually getting read. Non-negotiable for us is like you got to do 4 onboarding meetings. Don't apply for RPM if you don't want to show up to a meeting. If you're the person on this call that's like, you always say, I'm too busy, I don't have enough time, RPM's not for you. Not today, not at this stage, unless there's some sort of automatic onboarding system we come up with. But we are going to train you, we are going to bolt this into you. This is a major client engine system. I want to repeat this. This is not just automatic texting and emailing. This is a major system. We want to make sure you're comfortable using it. Import and connection options is like we can pull in from obviously the site, Constant Contact, MailChimp. We consider YourAble a massive partner, so we will connect into YourAble. I'll kind of walk through that in a second here. Orbis X is coming, all that kind of stuff, but we don't want to disrupt what you're doing. And there might be some overlap on messages. And the best part is during our boarding, you just tell us what you want to shut off on our side. So we know that we're not overlapping what you're doing on another side. but our systems talk to each other so that you're not having to play the duplication game or have to duplicate your own efforts. Additional support post launch. What happens is when you sign on for RPM, after your email is warmed up for about 45 days or 6 weeks, we're going to start sending you what's called an email health monitoring report. And this is kind of let you know how Google and Yahoo and other services are actually viewing the email to understand, are we getting flagged? And so this is a manual piece. We use software, but we're actually proactively measuring it. I have not seen anyone do this in this space at all. It's a huge mistake. If you are sending proposals and quotes and you're sending emails to customers, and you don't have email monitoring, especially at 40K and above, you're missing a great opportunity for your business. Um, we plan on doing 3 to 5 new major RPM automations per year. So if we get enough people that say, hey, I do underbody, I want underbody as part of my pipeline, or hey, I'm doing vinyl wraps, I will tell you at this stage, don't maybe, sign up and then we can talk about if we get enough people that say, hey, this happens, we want this, we're going to build it. We kind of plan 3 to 5 major ones, but I want to be really clear here. I'm not locking this system away from you. This is a system built on an entire platform, and you get access to make your own automations. I'm not interested in hiding the keys, taking them away from you. We only ask that you tell us what you want to do. We might actually build it for you for free. And then if we don't feel like there's enough RPM gain for it for other companies to take it, we'll show you, hey, this is how you want to build it. And here it is. We're on a great system that we has over hundreds and hundreds of developers on it. So you'll never be left out of the loop on that. If you were to do it yourself, if you're to do newsletters, if you're to write a newsletter, go get the content, figure out the picture, write the content, schedule it. You're probably going to spend, whether if you value your time around $100 an hour, or you find a designer, you get a photo guy and you do the email, you're probably costing about yourself, or you're paying somewhere in the realm of $500 a month in there. 1 to 3 hours newsletter. With this, our systems have over 50 newsletters pre-built, ready to go day one. Missed call, text back. Everybody kind of knows this term by now, but if you're just buying these separate systems, I mean, those are $97 a month if you were to buy it yourself. Opportunity cost is amazing. Automations that we've built, my favorite part is we went down the route of going through legal and compliance because we're big enough and we can afford it. And we send out certain automations within business hours that we're legally allowed to do within the state. And we make sure that no automations happen without that kind of compliance. If you're not in certain scenarios, you could get fined per use if you don't have legal and compliance. But missed call, text back is exactly what it says. You miss a call, the system will text back right away. Custom automations, and if Andrew St. Pierre is on here, he'll know exactly this. But every time you were to build something, it would cost you between $500 and $2,500 to sometimes even figure it out. Is it broken? QA it. RPM has built over 45 automations out of gate. I mean, approximate build in this, we're probably just in the automation side, we're probably in the 50K territory for us alone. More if you were to do it yourself, spam monitoring is included in ours. That's a $100 a month service. Phone, website, CRM integrations, making sure the API connections are all talking and that we're responsible for it. And the loan's $50. And custom automations is here again because I screwed up this presentation. That's just how it goes, people. As far as like slots available, how we are doing RPM is that we have 30 onboarding slots initially available. And so we're going to take the first 5 slots, make sure everything's golden there. And we'll talk about this in a moment, but we've had beta testers for a while now. And then we do the next 10, and so on. And from there, we get through it. RPM, the initial investment is a reservation. So we don't call guy number 6 through 15 until the first 5 are done. So this is a queue. I can't onboard all 30 at once. Our RPM team is pretty big, but it is not like 40 people big. And we have a very specific process to make sure that this system provides an immense value and immense time value for you day one. So your application, if you want to apply, you would go to visit rpmsystem.io. Your application's reviewed. We'll look at it. We take 3 to 7 business days. Keep in mind we're at MTE, so if you're going to apply and then you're going to email me the next day, just letting you know it's going to be a couple days. And then if you're accepted, we'll let you know where you are in the queue. The big thing here is that the initial investment is fully refundable if you, by the time your name comes up in the queue, if you're like, hey, I changed my mind, I'm going to start, or something came up, can't do it, no problem, fully refundable. All it was a queue hold. So we're not holding your cash or anything like that. There is a usage cost to this system. I'm just being honest. We don't make any money on this, but not everybody is familiar with usage costs. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I'll explain it. So us here at Roadmap, we had always started with similar systems like Keep and Pipedrive, and now we use a phone system that's Just Call. Just those softwares alone, I'm into probably around $1,400 or $1,500 a month, not including the usage cost. So what a usage cost is if your team is dialing 1,000 phone calls a month compared to the guy who's doing 10 phone calls, you guys have different usages. So we give you a $50 recurring monthly wallet. And just to give you an idea, $10 of that, you can make 800 minutes of phone calls. You can use it for 10,000 emails. It records at 2 cents a minute for voice transcription and AI. And for custom automations that we feel like RPM would not be like a fit for everybody in the RPM network there, we can build your custom automation if you don't want to figure it out, and that's $195 an hour. I would say if it's got renown to it, if you feel like it's something that could benefit, and if you're letting us build it for other people, we will eat it and stuff. But this is an application piece here. So let's kind of talk about real quick, and we're almost at the end. So thank you for all. I mean, pretty much everybody has stayed on, so I'm pretty excited about that. RPM in a nutshell is going to save money. It's going to save you time. It's going to find new dollars for you all automatically. Okay. It's going to keep you and your team organized. It's going to save you a significant amount of time. It's going to display the pipeline of opportunities so you can quickly understand what's won, what's in process, and what's about to be bought. It personalizes messages. It reactivates old leads. It re-engages old customers with newsletters. And the biggest thing is it connects with all your social media, your phone, your text, your email, your Google business. Call tracking is my favorite. We built a whole call tracking system in this, analytics, attribution, and integrates with all the major CRMs to avoid duplication and showcase that tracking. Most importantly, if I could have had this day one, I think everybody would have been in a great picture. If you've dealt with Detailer's Roadmap since day one, we've had this since day one. It was the very first thing we built in the business. We built RPM for ourselves. We built out all those newsletters. We built out all of that inbound, all of those. Even when you're in a website build with us or SEO, all that process and that tracking of here you are, we built all that day one, and we did the exact same thing with RPM. And so most importantly, RPM is pre-built, not just software, but it's all built out for you for your sales and your marketing for the next decade. Okay. What it won't do for you is it's not going to generate leads out of thin air. If you have a problem getting leads today, RPM is not going to solve that for you. Just being completely honest, I would not want you to buy RPM under the assumption that you're going to go from 20 leads to 50. That's not this system at all. It's not going to also write your outbound content forever, which means is like we built out these newsletters and we can make a plan to make more of them. But it's not like we pre-planned for the next 40 years on this. Okay. So I'm not here to tell you we have. It's not going to be hyper specific. And I kind of talked to this. I see Ben is on there and he's raising hands and all that stuff. But I told Ben the other day, it's like, it's not hyper specific. And what I mean by that is it's not going to say this is the message about G-Technic, ceramic coating, Ultra, and it does this exact thing to this T. and I do a 17-step paint correction. That's not what this is. This is really to invoke conversation, invoke sales, invoke engagement. So we didn't build it down to the wire for every single business. It would be impossible. You can make those edits, though. That's the beauty of this. It's not going to replace sales. I hate to break it to you. You know, if you were looking for an AI system to just do everything and you sit back and do it, we're not quite there yet. Maybe we'll be there in the next couple of years. Never know. But this will not replace sales personnel. It will not AI close deals for you automatically. Probably will to a certain point, but it's not there to just, turn on and immediately, wow, everything's done for me. I'm going to walk in Monday through Friday and I'm just going to show up for work. This is really hyper built for that kind of 40K a month business. So that's kind of the nutshell. I'm going to go ahead and pull into my system here. If you're more interested into it, you can visit rpmsystem.io and you can do an application there. Once again, you'd want to really make sure that you're kind of doing a certain amount of, we're going to ask you, what's the revenue, how many leads, what problems are you trying to solve? You guys know me and you know who we are. Really don't want to sell this to everybody. We want to sell this for people who have a specific problem and really see the value of everything done for you. So I'm going to kind of show you the system so you guys kind of understand what you're looking at, and we'll kind of break it in here. From a dashboard standpoint, what we cared about the most is to understand when people are coming in for an engagement, what does that mean? Engagement is just like the sites that you guys have, phone numbers, texts. We want to understand how many people are calling, how many form submissions. So engagement is phone and form submissions. We wanted to know, what is that opportunity worth, right? So if somebody came in with PPF, is PPF worth to you $2,000, 1,600, or $5,000? And we wanted the conversion rate to be dead obvious to understand. And I've talked about this for years of, what are you converting? Are you converting 21%? Are you converting 50%? Are you converting 5%? The dashboard will always kind of show you the day, the week, the month, anything you want, incoming call duration, status, all this stuff. And we're kind of always exploring more. This system has just been operational for this specific client for just a couple weeks, but it's already showing him delivered emails and then kind of their true conversion rate. He really just might not have even had a true understanding of what his real conversion rate was out of the gate. From a responding standpoint, kind of wanted to just show and showcase a little thing here. And this will probably be hard to see, but basically the text says, and this is a perfect example of engaging, is like, hey, is this for a new car or something you've had for a while? Customer responded with a picture, just got it in mid-November. So the system is automatically engaging right out of the gate, trying to get them to talk and start moving the needle. This is how the system works. You can connect to your social media, your Facebook, your Instagram. You can dial it down into unread, starred contacts, all sorts of stuff. So from the conversations tab, the system will show you as well any emails, same guy. It'll show you breaking it down into, here's kind of the email going through. Just this is a perfect example of like, this is an automatic email, pre-written, built out, trying to pursue the conversation deeper. And really my favorite part of this is like really kind of walking people through of why your PPF is a certain cost right out of the gate. Not that you couldn't build offers. I'm not against offers, but I think a lot of people are kind of tired of running offers or deals when they really need to either be bundling packages or using deep sales psychology to let people understand visually, what does it mean to wrap edges, or why you use this certain fill. It's a real thing. Our system will break down IVR calls, and what that means is the phone call comes in, you can see the transcripts come through, and then our system will actually break down from an AI. It'll actually kind of showcase everything about that phone call that was said and mentioned. If there's an availability, if it was mentioned enough on an inbound call, my favorite part is that it'll actually tag the customer as paint protection film or ceramic coating. These are all kind of custom automations we had to build into the system. It was probably the hardest thing for us to build, but it was honestly the most necessary to kind of really save people as much time as possible. The pipeline system is fully built out. Pipelines mean you're dragging somebody back and forth, working inbound calls, new leads, working them, needs follow up. And then when they're finished, when they actually become a customer of yours, they actually go into a whole new pipeline where it's pre-built out just like this, where, hey, aftercare guide sent, this is check happens. And we're starting to build kind of things like, hey, it's been a year, automatic task of where you should reach out to them. This system, and I know I'll get this question from like people who have like Orbis X, you're able, other stuff like this. And I think it's coming out this week, but this system integrates with Urable's API. And so if somebody hits a completed service on Urable, it'll drag this system over here. It'll say the actual amount. So instead of, hey, website form submission on window tint was $1,000, it was actually 1680, and they did PPF, it'll actually put the new value in there and then kind of drag them over through there. Automations, I mean, this is just the smallest, this is one of the smallest automations we have fully built out, but we have figured out kind of which messaging lands in what day for what email, what should it say, all sorts of stuff, including deep newsletters. Once again, not always selling, but serving people great quality information so that you're the number one person that comes up when it's time. Well, here, I'm going to answer a couple questions. So, will you need to have both your able and RPM? Yeah. So, I just want to repeat this, especially for people who have a CRM. This is not meant to replace your operational, your shop CRM. This is more for sales and marketing. Okay. So could you probably build something like this in Orbis X? I think is probably out there, Shop Monkey or any of that. Potentially. I don't know. I mean, I could tell you we're about a couple hundred hours just in the messaging alone. So I would ask you, do you have 200 hours to build this out? If you do, then go build it. If you don't have that time, I just saved you probably hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars. Brandon has asked here, does it connect to TintWiz? So currently what I would tell you, Brandon, is if you apply, we'll take a look at it and see if we can build all those things. If there's enough people who have TintWiz or Orbis X or you're able, we're interested. We're happy to do it. If I only have one guy for TintWiz, I don't want to waste your time, but most likely we'll kind of just assess it and try and understand if TintWiz. I don't know off the top of my head if TintWiz has API integrations. I believe it does. So if I have a couple people that are like, I've got TintWiz, I'm here to make your life easier. We're going to make sure that it integrates both ways. We want to save everybody some time on this. Here's a good one. Is this based around Go High Level and has a Zapier into the CRM, or is it a full standalone system independent of Go High Level and usage? James, I'm sure you're just going to keep telling people you're going to keep building your own for the next year. So this system is built around Go High Level. We're not hiding it by any stretch. And the reason why we decided to use Go High Level is that Go High Level is a great system, but out of the box, it's so difficult to use. And so what we did is we really broke down the system deeper and deeper, and we actually kind of shaved off some certain features, and then we had to build a lot of features. This is not just automations. This is not just newsletters. This is not just email and text. We had to build entire phone systems built into this system. We had to build the whole email warm-up system that's separate because we don't like Go High Levels. It didn't do the level that we need out of it. So that's why we decided to use Go High Level, is that it got us a lot of the way there, but it didn't really have all the major functionality on it. So we have a component structure to Go High Level. I also just genuinely, from one business owner to the next, the problem of doing a certain standalone system in a scenario like this is that we really want people to have the ability to find their own answers and maybe adjust their own stuff so that they can build their own automations and they're not completely wholly dependent on us. I just felt like from this standpoint, because the system's so big and you could do so many things with it, because I didn't even talk about all the features it can do. You could build sites with it. You can build funnels and quizzes. You could do so many things. But where we found the most value is the way we built it for a lot of these shops. Just to be super clear, we have built stuff like this for in Keep and Pipedrive and HubSpot. And the natural problem with all those softwares is that as much as they're awesome, they don't do all the functions of Go High Level, and they really don't do the worst part of it. If I have a change, I can't drag that new, like, I want to do a whole vinyl wrap thing. I want to build out an entire pipe for vinyl wrap. I keep thinking of in Dayton, there's Next Level, and he does like so many color PPF and so many vinyl wrap. Like, I want him to call me and say, I'm in, but I want to have vinyl wrap in there by quarter 3. And like, that's like the perfect guy because he's got like so many great pictures. So the beauty of Go High Level is it's got all of its developers, it's got all the connections that you can make on your own or with us, and we can kind of own it and help everything out. So yeah, but that's kind of it in the nutshell. If you're interested, rpmsystem.io, I'd say apply there. I want to thank everybody who gave us all these great ideas. I've seen for years people kind of complain about where they're at and what they're being using today. I want you to understand I've heard it, we've listened to you, and we are kind of known for taking in information and trying to build a solution that makes the most sense. Man, if I had this system day one, I think we'd be in a totally different tier of a company day one. But I'm happy that we took the 4 years to work with our customers in the past 2 years to really build it and adjust it and rip it apart and do it right. Because we really want to make the best system possible. And we really want roadmap partners to always be the most powerful. So, from my family and my team here at Detailers Roadmap, thank you for the time. If you have any other questions, I would say the best place at this stage of the game would probably be the Facebook group. Happy to answer more stuff. I'll be up tonight. If you're at MTE, come say hello. Come say hi. If you're coming to MTE and your roadmap partner, come get a drink with us Thursday night. You need a ticket. I don't know if there's any tickets left, but come on down, say hi, and we'll go from there. Thanks, everybody, and we appreciate you stopping by. Cheers.